You use the term sweet absolute a lot. What do you mean by that term? Why do you use that term?
Well, that's a term that originally was invoked by one of my teachers, Srila Bhaktirakshak Sridhar Swami Maharaj. And he will refer to God or Krishna, or however you may like to call him, in this case as the sweet absolute, which is kind of balancing two classical aspects of God that in Sanskrit are called Aishvarya and Madhurya. So Aishvarya means like the magnificence of God, God as the cosmic personality, the biggest of the big, something that invokes this awe and reverence. And Madhurya means sweetness. So it has to do more with intimacy, with sweetness, with love. So both exist simultaneously, at least for us in our tradition. And for us, we are especially interested in a relationship with God in intimacy and love. And to such degree of intimacy, we will say that we lose sight that God is God. That's kind of our theology. We love that person for who that person actually is. Now, God is more like a term of the person in the office. Like if you will say you are the president of the States, in the office you are certain, there's formality and bureaucracy and everything happens in certain parameters. When you reach home, maybe your grandchild is waiting for you and he jumps on your back and tells you, become a snake, grandpa. And the president of the States is like rolling on the ground. But he forgot he's the president. He still is the president, but he forgot and he's in another reality, but he's himself way more there than in the White House, so to say. So for us, we have those two ideas of God, Aishvarya, God in the presidential house, cosmic administrator, and God at home in the intimacy, forgetting his own godhood by the power of love. So, but both of them are coexisting, again, paradoxically. So sweet absolute indicates proper integration of these two.
So forgetting his own godhood. I mean, some people say, and you might say, that actually it's all God. There's nothing but God. If there's anything other than God, then God can't be omnipresent. And so we are God, forgetting our own godhood, right? Is it fair to say?
That wouldn't be our philosophy in absolute terms. Of course, we can say everything is God, sarva kalidam Brahma. Of course, that's in our tradition. But we will qualify that statement because personally, I'm not a follower of Shankaracharya or Advaita Vedanta. Although we agree that there is the reality of impersonal experience. There are many other forms of the Vedanta, just to clarify. Advaita Vedanta is just one of them. There is Vishishta Advaita, Advaita Advaita, Shuddha Advaita, Chinta Veda Veda, and so on. So we will say, everything is God in the sense that everything is connected to God. But I wouldn't say that I'm God in every single sense of the term, because again, that will come if I'm God, but I forgot that I'm God. What is causing that forgetfulness? That's not the same example as I gave you before, because I'm giving the example of God forgetting his God or losing sight of his godhood because of the impact of love. But if we are here on this world many times not very much surrounded by divine love, and I'm God forgetting that I'm God, that kind for me of compromises the reality of a divine who is beyond the gunas, beyond illusion, so to say. So we will say that everything is God in the sense that the only thing that exists is God and his shaktis, his energies. That's said also in the scriptures. So there is God, this world is one energy, the Atma is another energy, love is another energy. So in that sense, everything is God. It is and it is not. Again, for me, that comes the paradox. Like now I'm in this room, I could say the sun is entering the room, but in another sense, I could say the sun is not entering the room. Because if it will enter literally, the room is over and we have no more podcast here. So it's entering and it's not entering. So in that sense, we will say we are God and we are not God. We are an energy of God. That's what, at least how we read verses from the Bhagavad Gita, like 2:12, where Krishna says, there has never been a time that I did not exist, nor that you did not exist, nor that these other people exist. So it's a clear establishing of the eternal individuality of the different beings. That's our particular worldview, so to say. And that's what for us allows a loving interaction, a loving relation between God and the soul. If I will become God in every sense of the term, if I'm God in every sense of the term, there wouldn't be a dynamic, loving interaction, in my opinion.